Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I'll be researching top tier without using a premium vehicle and no premium account. Okay, let's just hop straight into a match, except we cannot forget the 10% RP booster. Now we're set. I was definitely very happy about that extra 10%. Okay, so first match here. Right, so the cockpit was closing here, but I kind of... Yeah, no, I mean, I might just keep it open, see how things go. I mean, it does look pretty cheeky here, I won't lie. Oh, there he goes. I mean, on the bright side, I mean, just look at that view. It does look pretty epic, I won't lie. So with the R73, you kind of just point at someone and, like, you want to hit them, but also not forget to flare yourself. Because, you know, there's other R73s, AIM-9Ms, all that kind of stuff. So here, I see the SU-27. I'm going to pull up here, try to get an R73 on him. I kind of accidentally lock onto his flares, so we just fire another one. This one should... And I see this guy pulling some nice maneuvers, and then I look away for 1 second and he's crashed. So I feel like I probably shouldn't do any cheeky maneuvers here, so I definitely don't do anything. And okay, I did it once. Once is okay, so I'm not going to do it again, but 2 is enough. I won't do it a 3rd time. So to be fair, we are kind of behind our friendlies here, which means I can try go for a flank here. I shoot an R73 and I try to dodge his missile. I actually have a crew lock here, I'm not entirely sure why. But I was going to play the MiG-27 anyways, with my completely, fully upgraded plane I have here. That I definitely have R60Ms on. And then, as usual, in top tier we have someone crashing on takeoff. And it's an F4S, just saying. Here I'm thinking I'm going to get shot down any second. But surprisingly, I actually managed to get past all the enemies. I'm just gonna skip that real quick. And now we're at the base. Again, pretty surprisingly, I won't lie, at top tier. So I drop all the bombs here and, well, start turning towards the enemies. We're gonna pretend I completely took out the base. Yeah, and then we're just gonna lock up this guy with an R13M1. It is a Phantom, so I don't expect him to flare, but he actually does. So that was pretty interesting. And then I tried to go for the shot, but a bit of a skill issue there. I forgot that the gun is below the plane. And we find ourselves in a bit of a situation. So I tried to pull up. The entire enemy team's on me. So I'm just going to try do some interesting maneuvers and try and get out of the way. And here you can see that I'm dodging pretty well. And in this situation, you just kind of want to drop some flares. Make sure there's enough in the air. You want to point your nose on a target if you can and try to kind of shoot and see if anything hits. And now I'm in the MiG-29 because we're researching the MiG-29 SMT obviously, and I find myself in an air spawn. You can see in this clip I'm a bit confused, not entirely sure why there's an air spawn. I keep going back and forth checking if I'm playing arcade by accident, but no, it's just an air spawn. I haven't gotten one since the city map. And here someone launches a radar missile at me. So I'm just going to try and notch it. It's an AIM-7F from an F4S. So I realize that I'm a bit low, so I try to pull up so I don't get... And once again, teammate crashes on takeoff. Not entirely sure how. And then out of nowhere, an F-16 on the other team also decides to join him.
Welcome to the first installment of my guide series, where I use stock photos, paint and some examples from in-game to try to make you a better pilot in War Thunder.
So I start just listening to deafen, kind of like background audio. Yeah.
So it's a bit offset. This isn't as much of a problem at longer ranges, but at closer ranges you can clearly see, as well as in this video on the right, that the guns don't really line up. So at extreme close...
So I lock this guy up with an R60M. He does flare it, so I go for guns here. And I got used to MiG-27, so I accidentally aim a bit too high this time. So I'm just going to try go back towards him, but then, you know, there's a lot of friendlies over there, so I kind of leave them to it, I think. And then in the distance, I kind of spot a MiG-21, and he's not, like, paying attention to me at all. And if I launch an ER at him, there's not much he is going to be able to do. So that's about to hit, because obviously it will. And I see this F4S, and well, it is an F4S, so I'm just going to shoot an R60M at him, and I don't expect him to flare, which is exactly what happens, and I get the kill. There's this other F4S in front of me. He fires a missile at me, so I'm about to try and dodge this missile. Fortunately, I did actually record this clip, so you actually get to see how I dodged it, which I was actually pretty happy about. I did kind of have a feeling early that there was another plane somewhere near us, but I forget to check. And actually, I was going to be grinding the SC25T this video, with the SC25, obviously. That's actually what I meant to do. You can see this AV-8 behind me, and there's an A-10, so I'm just going to kind of pre-flare in case the A-10 shoots a missile, and at the same time dodge the AV-8. Now you can see the flares worked. Now the AV-8, he misses me, and I see him beginning to pull up, so I'm just going to go after him, because I know that if he keeps going and he slows down, he's not going to be able to turn very fast. Whereas my wings are so wide, I'm going to be able to get my nose on him and then fire an R60M. And you can see that happening right here. And his engines are so hot that his flares won't do much, and I kind of secure the kill here. Now you can see that I have rocket pods. I'm not going to be using them to bomb a base though. And there's this F5C. I'm just going to launch an R60M here. I don't expect it to hit, but I want him to kind of turn towards me a bit, which, you know, I mean, it was just, you know, if it happened, it happened, but it didn't. So I'm just going to keep on his 6 and kind of try shoot him out the air. I'm just going to speed this footage up a little bit because, you know, I just kind of stay on his 6 for a while, waiting for him to make a mistake, because, you know, there's quite a few friendlies around here, or enemies in blue, whatever you want to call them. Now he goes in front of my guns here, so I just kind of take the shot, and I actually do hit, which was pretty cool. Again, good thing I recorded that part. Wow. And then I see that this A5C is going back to his base, so I go after him, but at this point I kind of assume that he's probably landed by now, because, you know, he's pretty fast compared to me. I see his name pop up here, so I figure out that he's still there, but then it disappears. So I kind of assume that he's J'd out by now. So I keep just going forward. And actually, I was meant to play tanks in the end anyways. I mean, grinding top tier, you know, I meant tanks in the first place. So here I see an enemy. We exchange shots, but I decide to not penetrate, because otherwise that wouldn't be interesting if I one-shot him there. I see him shoot again, so I go for his breach this time. I get the breach. And now there's not really anything that he can do, so I just line up the shot and go for the kill. And kind of just decide to push towards A. And now I've captured A, I kind of forget to look around and don't notice this enemy. And here, I felt bad for the guy, so I decide only to get a hit. And then a teammate finishes him off later. I must have got bored here in this clip, because I kind of just push towards A, and we all know that when you don't look around, there's always an enemy. And here I'm playing in the 2S38. I spot this guy here who's not looking at me, so we just get that kill pretty quickly. Then I just kind of hit this rock again. I didn't include the first clip. And then I see this cheeky guy over here, so he's pushing the enemy spawn, and I decide to go with him, because why not? And I hear an enemy tank on the left of me. I'm not entirely sure at this point what it is, but then I see that, and my first thought is, oh, it's probably an anti-air. So I kind of just go push him, and now we're actually back to playing air realistic. I'm not entirely sure why there's so many people on the ground. They must have just crash landed or something. I see this guy, or AI or whatever. I don't know. I'm playing air realistic, so I don't know. I shoot two S25s, and I decide again to only get a hit because, you know, I mean, whatever. And again, I'm catching up on my deafen aiming tutorial, and again decide to only get a hit because I aimed a bit too high once again. So I try to reload, and now we've got the bigger guns because we need to clear up some enemies. I'm not sure if you just saw that, but this guy just kind of rendered out of nowhere. So we kind of lock him up-ish. Fire a 152mm APFS DS shell straight into his tank. And I decide to play some anti-air because I only really just got this tank or vehicle. And here you can see me locking onto him, and he starts flaring every now and then, so I just kind of break the lock, because I assume he has an RWR, so kind of just removing the lock so he doesn't get too suspicious. And then there's not really that much he could do 4 kilometers away. And we get the kill, of course. Severe damage. He's going straight into the ground now. And that is going to be GG. Now we're absolutely going to win this match because I'm just that good.
Пожелай мне удачи, пожелай